Hi, I'm Supermoon Tarot, and today's video we're going to be looking at your financial success story 1 year from now. Ooh, I'm so excited! We're going to be looking at any signs you can look out for that will help you know that you're on the right track, or any opportunities that you should specifically be taking, so that way you can get from point A to point B most comfortably and most confidently, we should say. As you can see, we have 4 groups in front of us. 1, 2, 3, 4. I want you to pick the group that you resonate with most. I'm going to give you a moment to do that. Now that you have, you can go down to the description where you can skip to your designated group and mark timestamp. But let's get started with group number 1. Group number 1, let's look at your financial success story 1 year from now by looking at the cards. That is a bit of a tongue twister to say the least. 6 of Wands upright, 10 of Swords in reverse, 9 of Pentacles upright, Queen of Cups in reverse, and 9 of Cups upright. I can feel I'm like really heavily channeling someone. As in you guys, not a spirit guide. A spirit guide is here helping me, but I can feel you guys. Okay, let me pull one more card here. Let me just look at all of these one more time. Okay. So let's start off with the 9 of Pentacles, because this is where you're going to end up, and this is just such a fantastic card to have. Obviously, it's the extra reassurance of your financial goals, and let's just say you're going to be extremely bountiful. It's going to be very, very, very comfortable. Not like, oh, this is nice, I'm making a little extra money, or I'm making a decent. You're making a lot, like 3-4 times, like significantly more than you're making right now, and I'm very excited for you. The main thing that you're going to be, like your occupation, is going to be freelancing. So if you are a writer or something like that, or you have individual things that you can do, you're going to perform these activities as you find clients or clients approach you. And if you're like, well, I kind of craft little objects, like I'm an artisan. What about Etsy? No, that's having a shop. We're talking about freelance. You're going to make a lot more from individual clients that are like custom made things than you're going to have to hustle in your own shop and build up branding and everything behind that. That's actually one of the secrets as to why you make so much money. You cut out a lot of the middleman, a lot of the middle kind of grinding out work, and you save yourself a lot of time. And then you're not only saving yourself time and you're working smarter and not harder, you are able to ask for and receive greater amounts of money for your work because you're able to find the client that best fits you rather than having to please a wider audience. Another thing I want to mention that I really love that I'm picking up here is often when people work in freelance, it can be emotionally overwhelming because, you're kind of, it's this up in the air feeling of like, how do I know when I'm going to get the next client? What if I go through a dry spell? I don't know if I can feel like I can take a break, because what if in that break I lose the opportunity to work with other people, and that in the long term hurts me? This is not going to be you. This is not going to be an issue for you. People are going to be constantly reaching out for you. You're going to build quite a name for yourself very quickly. The idea of being like, I want to take a month off. You can, not only financially, but people are going to be like, no, I don't want to work with someone else. I want to work with them. I will wait the month to work with them. So it's very exciting for you. The other thing I also really love about you getting this card in particular is the 9 of Pentacles obviously represents wealth, but she represents confidence. She's she had to work hard to get there, and now she's confident she can continue to do it. She's also very confident in treating herself financially. So she likes to buy herself luxurious things, and there is a confidence in being like, I'm worth it, and a confidence in knowing that she can attract more money, so that's nothing to worry about. This is somebody who's incredibly in touch with self-care and self-love, so keep that in mind. Definitely make that a focus this year. Really get in touch with that in order to get yourself in that mental place. It's like when people practice, they're already there. Practice being like already being there, and like regularly give yourself at home little like facial spas and stuff like that. There's something else I was just being told. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm forgetting it right now. If I remember it, I will tell you. So let's talk about how we get here in that mindset. So over here with the Six of Wands upright, this is one of your key things that's going to be very important to your success. This is when you're going to be at a job where you do have a boss. This is the in-between factor before you set out on your own over here. This is incredibly, incredibly important, and it should not be something that is overlooked or seen as like, well, if I'm going to end up here, why do I have to deal with this? Because I want to point this in mind. You have no boss. You don't have to answer for anyone. You are totally working for yourself. It's very exhilarating. You're totally in touch with what you're doing. It's going to be a fun thing. But over here, you're going to have to listen to other people. And this is like what I would consider the training ground that makes you so good at what you're good at. You're going to be focusing less on your actual thing you're offering in your craft. That's not actually as important. I'm not saying you're not going to be good at it, but if you think, if I make a better product or I'm a better writer, that's what's going to make people want to work with me. Not really. Again, it doesn't mean that's not important and you shouldn't work on that, and for your own happiness you shouldn't. But what's going on over here is you working on your likability factor by understanding what other people need, both emotionally, and then intertwining that with your business. So it's that about understanding what's going on in their personal lives, and also understanding what's going on and what they need in their business. So I'm not talking about a weird manipulation factor. It's about understanding, I see that they're really struggling at home with their partner and they feel self-conscious that they don't have something more financial to offer, and it's kind of getting to them emotionally. And then also understanding at their work, they shouldn't actually be working in this department. They should be working over here. They'd be better at it. They're better at their skills. And so you let them know about it. You put them in a better department, or you suggest them to go to a better department. And then not only is the company you work for working out better because they function better there, but their confidence build because now they can go home and feel better about what they have to offer their partner. So it's more of a positive, like you're doing good deeds simultaneously. But in turn, that makes them very loyal to you because they know that you can anticipate both what they need on a business front and an emotional front. But the business front is extremely important because it's not just understanding what they need in like being like, okay, what can they accomplish? What are their skill sets? But in the company, where would they fit best? And then as you meet freelance clients, you're able to anticipate their needs and understand how to translate emotions when it comes to kind of like how an advertiser has to understand how can they express an emotion through like graphic through like images or through words and text and typography. Like how can you understand that skill by getting everybody in the office to essentially like you? This is way more important than your skill and craft, and don't even worry about your boss and them loving or liking you or worried if they're going to affect anything. You're gaining a lot of knowledge in this department. Going off of that though, we have the Queen of Cups in reverse. Look at her mirror. She acts as a reflection to other people in this particular case, saying like, this is how you're feeling, and I'm able to now express this back to you in a way that makes you happy and gives you comfort. Very much like we're talking about over here. But if you notice, she's in reverse. And something that I'm going to say the word could because there is the potential that this can be a problem this year and that can be solved. So I'm telling you what the problem can be so you can solve it. While you might be good at being able to show this to other people and you're building this skill set over this year, you're also going to struggle with reflecting back your own emotions to yourself. It will pop up in the world around you. If your room's a mess, something's going on inside you. If you're noticing things aren't functioning well with other people. Oh, and this is something I want to add here. The great thing about the training ground is as you trial and error and fix things and you figure out how things work, you're going to have an easier time being like, oh, well, I messed up, but I'm still going to be paid by this job, compared to people who freelance and they have to go through the trial and error period and really financially suffer from making those mistakes, which then emotionally costs them. I just want to be clear about that. The main thing you're gaining here by making so much money is cutting out all of the middleman type of stuff, and you're basically even streamlining your abilities and being able to understand what people need over here instead of having to go through a trial period over here. So anyways, back to the Queen of Cups in reverse. So the Queen of Cups in reverse is saying, be weary, be super aware, and do not avoid your own feelings over this time period. If you see them, face them, understand them, because not only do you want to feel emotionally stable in order to handle all of this and then be in a place where you can handle being a freelancer, but being able to understand how even you function and figuring out how you can anticipate your own needs is also a part of your skill set we talked about over here in the Six of Wands. So it's super important. Over here, it talks about the idea of not repressing, not putting away, but redirecting your energy. You want to focus incredibly hard on how can everything be a positive situation or be used in your benefit. This has to be a consistent thought. You don't have to beat yourself up if you get off track, but it can't be something where you allow yourself little tiny thoughts or little gossiping moments where you put yourself down or put other people down unintentionally. You have to at every given moment see that if there is some sort of disruption to, and we're talking about in the business place, there's some sort of disruption in the flow of progress, you're going to say to yourself, not, oh no, this is making me feel worried, but then redirect these emotions and say, how can we solve this solution? This is not only going to give out an extremely large vibration, energy vibration that's building up throughout the year, and then will get permanently set in your, the natural way you think, and this will keep the constant flow of clients. Again, we talk about the whole training of you developing this ability, but this is the thing that's going to save you a lot of emotional discomfort when we talk about over the Nine of Pentacles, because of course in any job, if there's any sort of disrupt or flow, it's going to happen for everybody. You're not going to spend 2 days overthinking it or letting it get to you or avoiding it. You're going to be so quick to not even skip a beat and be like, okay, well, let's look for a solution. I have this, and this to offer because I've dealt with this before, and it will be more comfortable for you. It will be easier. And again, it talks about that idea of the main thing you're going to master over this year that makes you so successful is you're always getting rid of that middleman of discomfort, middleman of having to sell to multiple people, just finding the best person, middleman of having to advertise to a bunch of people because you build that word of mouth because you've built up such loyalty in this particular job, as well as other clients that will then pass on your card and abilities and stuff like that and let them know that you're available. All of this is extremely important. And then the last thing that kicks it off is there is going to be a huge client you're going to get that is going to financially set you up by the end of the year. This is a really big, important one. They will financially give you a lot of money. This is going to pay many months of rent, as well as, your, what is it called? Your basic needs, different bills and things you have to pay and stuff like that, from this client, from it being so great. And obviously other people are going to be impressed that you work with them. Other people are going to be like, oh, well, if they worked with you, I want to work with you. They're going to refer you to many people. It's going to be a big thing, but it's the big confidence booster that puts you in the Nine of Pentacles mindset. And with this mindset, it creates a chain reaction and energy of other people wanting to work with you. This feeling of oh yeah, I'm good, both financially, I'm good because I know I can attract more financial stuff. Because when you get this opportunity and you take it and you have a great time and you make it all happen, this is going to make you feel good to know I know I'm freelancing, but I have so many months I've paid for. Also, This is my sure thing that gives me other opportunities. So this is kind of like, think of this as your graduation of being like, yep, I'm here. I'm totally confident in what I'm doing. This is my full-time gig now. So yay, I'm clapping over here. I'll clap over here. If you enjoyed this reading as much as I did, please consider giving the video a like, comment, and a subscribe, as well as a share. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I am sincerely wishing you the best, especially financially. And I'll see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 2. Group number 1. Let's find out your financial success story 1 year from now by looking at the cards. We've got 5 of Swords upright, Queen of Pentacles in reverse, Queen of Swords in reverse, the Star card upright, and the Devil in reverse. Give me a moment, I'm just looking at this. Queen of Swords again. All right, point made. I love it. You know how much I love clarity. Okay, so let's get into this. This is where you are headed by the very end of the year with the Queen of Pentacles in reverse. And this is a very interesting card because initially you might look at it and be like, I thought you said this was about financial success at the end of the year. It is. You are doing so incredibly well. You will be taking a rather long vacation by choice and comfortably enjoying it by the end of the year. It's kind of like your marker point, so to speak. And you'll be financially doing well enough and feel confident enough in yourself that you're like, you know what? I've worked hard and I feel like it. Let's do it. Let's just take a month off, that's a lot of money to make, you know what I mean? So the thing that I love about this for you with the Queen of Pentacles is I'm being told it actually does not matter what you do. It doesn't matter the job you pick. It doesn't matter if it's freelance, if it's not. None of it matters. The only thing that matters is that this is all about your ability to manifest, and you will be a master manifester by the end of it. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you choose. It will all work out to your benefit either way. But we're going to be getting more into specifics about that in the other cards. The other thing that's really interesting here is normally the Queen of Pentacles is all about, she's a master manifester and she has confidence in her manifesting skills based on what she can create with her hands. And that's actually not super important here. You are going to be talented and skilled by the end of the year of what you do, what you create, what you add to the world when it comes to your profession. But it's actually more based on your energy level. And if you're like, energy? Oh, what do you mean by that? Because many people confuse energy for emotional feelings, and they are in fact different, and you can feel your energy. If you actually ever want to look up, there are ways that you can do certain hand motions and clappings in order to figure out and feel your chi. I'm sure there's YouTube videos on it. I can do a YouTube video if you are interested, but which I'd be happy to do. Ooh, I should do that because I love that type of stuff, so we can get into that. But if you want to feel it right now, just take a moment, be quiet, close your eyes, allow yourself to be still, clear your head, and I want you to just observe your body. Do you feel anything? It should feel like a vibration. It should feel like something that travels around certain parts of your body. Maybe it's in your shoulders, maybe it's in your neck, maybe it's in your heart, maybe it's in your head. Wherever it is, you will feel like a slight kind of tingling sensation, and that's something you're going to give focus to this year. And you're going to build up where it's a very large vibration, and you kind of can vibrate all the time, and it feels amazing. So this is what you're going to build up And this is kind of your sort of radio signal you'll be sending out in the world in order to manifest all the time. I actually highly recommend, there is a book called Ask and It Is Given. It talks at great length explaining this concept, and that will be a great, first start for you to head in that direction. But going off of this card, let's get into some more details, because that's, this is where you end up, but let's talk about how you get there. So something that's kind of interesting is the Five of Swords. The reason why I say it's interesting is my spirit guides are describing it as you having to betray people. But they said that you are not betraying people, but it will feel like betrayal. And what I'm specifically being shown is people will put you in a position where you will feel like you have to do what they say, or they're kind of putting you in a false sense of loyalty of like, you owe me, but they just put that onto you. They didn't actually really do anything. They will make you think that they've done things for you or given you favors or something, and therefore somehow they own you, and you have to give them the opportunities you wish to have. And you're going to have to turn your back on them at a certain point, or kind of play their game until an opportunity presents itself, because while you're playing their game, you're sort of distracting them. So when you see this opportunity, they're kind of hoping for being like, yeah, if they see anything, they'll send it my way. And you're going to essentially see this opportunity, take it, and be like, bye, forever, I don't have to deal with you anymore. And they're going to try to guilt trip you. And so in your good-natured heart, you potentially could feel like you betrayed people. You didn't at all. I want to be clear. And having to leave them behind is a part of the process. They are sort of the distraction, the holdback. There is opportunities surrounding them, so this discomfort is normal and okay and fine, and there's a lot of benefit around it. But you kind of are being comforted because you're going to have to make a hop, leap, and a skip in a direction that's maybe not your normal way of handling things. But again, want this to be clear, you are not betraying them as much as they will feel this way. Just to be clear on one last thing, these are not your friends. You know what I mean? You don't really like them. That doesn't make it any better, because I believe in being kind to all people. But you're not being unkind by just being a normal person and taking opportunities and doing things and them trying to make you do work for them. Do you see what I'm saying? So all is good in that department. But let's get into specifics here. So over here, we have a hybrid going on that you're going to learn to embody, and we can get specific about this vibe. So on one end, we have the Star card. This feels like an all-knowing, super sweet loving, believing in the most optimistic possibility. She's super, super lighthearted, but very down to earth, which makes sense why there's the Queen of Pentacles popping up representing that earthy energy. So this is not a super hyper energy. It's very relaxed. And it's like, yeah, everything's working out. But it's almost to the point that people might be like, do you know that bad things can happen? And you're just like not really tuning into that, if that makes sense. This is something that is going to help you radiate that sort of vibrational energy. But the thing is, as much as we talked about this energy you're going to be vibrating, and this is kind of the mindset and the flow you're going to be personality-wise you're going to be connecting with that gets you there, this energy is, a lot of people think they need to pick and choose between their light and shadow side. And that, in fact, is not true. You should see them and use them both to your advantage. And if you only radiated and stayed in this sort of mindset, you can be easily shaken, so to speak, and actually start to become temperamental because you felt someone shook you from this mindset. Because it's very easy to kind of put thoughts in this person's head and make them doubt themselves and influence them or cause them to have to react in a way where they have to repress that and be like, I don't want to talk about it. Let's not talk about that kind of thing. And that's not really where you're at. You are working between a hybrid of this energy and the Queen of Swords. She is super strong. She is super, very honest, like blunt honesty. And I want to be clear about something. She is not honest to be cruel. She is honest because she believes that by telling people the truth, it is the most respectful and loving, and honestly skipping a lot of annoying in between wasting time type of stuff just to get to the point and be like, let's put all the cards on the table. So there's that hybrid of energy where you're going to live in sort of like, I don't want to say la la land, but you're living in an overly dreamy fantasy, kind of overly optimistic mindset, but you will tune in here and there when you need to be very honest and straightforward. But by taking that very hands-on sort of mental approach to it, you don't let it consume you, because you kind of say, let's talk about it, let's get honest about this, let's get real about this, before people can start to insert their own narrative into your head, is the best way I can put it. But there's something important here. The Devil card in reverse talks about getting rid of a bad habit. So it appears honesty is your strong suit. When we have the Queen of Swords over here, saying like, don't do that, don't be honest all the time. And I already had that inkling over here, but this is our double confirmation of how important it is. While it is about being honest, you're going to understand over time that there is a time to keep honesty to yourself. But it is not about lying. It's about not revealing certain truths at every given moment. There are going to be times where it will hurt you if you are overly honest. And you know when to read those social cues. And you'll say to yourself, if I share this right now, is this really going to benefit me? Or is it just going to hurt me in the end? These will be very obvious and straightforward to you. So it's about, yes, being honest and always being aware of the truth and feeling the need to share it and going out of your way to share it regularly, but knowing when to hold it back and when to give it, while taking this sort of energy and mixing it with a very light-hearted, in tune with the earth, hanging out with your crystals, meditating. I think they're nice, I think there's good in them kind of personality. Because this is what keeps you from being someone that can be shaken. And this is somebody who is like, think of this person as the beautiful and touch floating balloon, and this is somebody who protects the balloon and allows the balloon to be a floating balloon, and you're going to be both your protector and the treasure, so to speak. And I love this, and both have their benefits and will help the other one, if that makes sense, and you'll figure out that beautiful dance between the two. But by connecting to this energy, this is somebody who over time really understands what that vibration means. They understand how to foster it and allow it to grow, which then will in turn make you the master manifester, which then in turn will bring you all of this income, no matter the profession or what you do, which will then give you the ability to take that big long break by the end of the year, which I love. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving it a like, comment, share. It helps out the channel. Oh, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a lovely day. I am wishing you the best, and I will see you in the next one. And let's get ready for group number 3. Group number 3. Let's look at your financial success story 1 year from now by looking at the cards. I am connecting to your energy so hard right now. It is making me feel like I'm going to fly away. It is intense. Oh, okay. Now I understand that. Oh, I feel it so intensely. Oh, I'm getting like kind of teary-eyed. I'm like connecting so hard. Forgive me. Give me a second to look at these cards. Whew. Okay. Whew. I feel like I'm more in control now, but I felt like I got a heavy taste of it so that I could best understand, and then had it dialed down so I could be able to do the reading. Oh, that was super intense. It wasn't bad at all. I can tell you have an enormous amount of untapped potential. You're not aware that it's there. You're like not connecting to this sort of vibration, but it's there. And it's so intense, it makes me feel like, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but when people get super spiritual and are meditating a lot, it can, after a while, especially with people talking about the fifth dimensional jump and everything like that, it can make people feel lightheaded, feel like they're floating away. It's super overwhelming feeling, which is why this card makes sense. And we'll be getting to that in a moment. But I'm going to pull a card real quick. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I love this. This is so funny. This is your end goal and end point, and we love this for you. And this makes sense why your spiritual energy is insane. We're going to be getting into more specifics of this end goal by the end of it. But the reason why I'm particularly laughing is because before I did this and I was cleaning up the other set of cards and I was pulling out this group, my new guide I'm working with, Spirit Guide, they said, keep a deck of cards with you. And I said, oh, am I going to need to pull? Is there something I'm not going to understand? They were like, no, but if you need to, you can. And I was like, okay. Because normally they will say just yes or no. Like, yeah, you're going to need to pull some more cards. And I was like, okay. And now I understand because because this is the end goal, a lot of this has a next level of understanding. So we're just going to casually put this here as the reminder of where you're going, which we love. Okay, so first let's start over here with the grounding energy. It doesn't just mean this, we're going to get into that, but the first thing I want you to practice over this year is being able to how to ground yourself. You can ground yourself through a ton of different things. I was actually going to release a meditation video about doing yoga nidra. This is a super amazing, wonderful way of grounding yourself, but you can do it any way you want. Many people like to meditate and think of the idea of a beam of light going through them down into the earth and going around the earth's core and kind of like grabbing a hold. Another method I personally like to use is where you contemplate and you think about what the inside of your hands feel like, and then you continue that feeling all the way up different parts of your body, and you're just really aware of your body. When we get more spiritual and more in tune with our spirituality, it can be that intense feeling. And that is why it's so important to be able to have that duality of grounding so that we can continue to enjoy our spirituality without feeling like it's controlling us, if that makes sense. That's not its aim. Spirituality is a concept. I'm just saying your energy is very, very, very intense. So get ready because it's going to be a fun ride. The very first thing you're going to be contemplating over the next 2 months, I'm being told, is understanding what is it that you want to do? What is it? Like, I don't think you really know. And it's about truly understanding that. This is passion that you're going to connect with. This is what's going to allow you to find that inner drive. You don't have to make all your money loving every second of your job. And most people make a lot of money doing things that they don't really like doing. They just like the money. But for you, you need that connection in order to feel that drive to move forward, which is great and not a bad thing at all. But the reason why you need to connect to it is because once you figure out what it is and you're like really excited about it, you look inside and you're like, yeah, I can think of all the reasons why. This is going to be sending out a signal to the rest of the world and going to be a main factor in you being able to attract more opportunities, more money, because it's like you're always putting out those radio waves that other people are like, yeah, you're right. This is really cool. You make it sound so interesting. Yeah, can I be a part of this? Can I help you? Can I have a piece of that? Sure. What is it that you offer? And the more you look inwards throughout this year and you really connect to this love and this passion you have for this thing that you want to do, don't ever look at what other people are doing. Don't ever think, well, no. Just always look inside and be like, yeah, this is it. This is the spot. I'm always finding more things to love about it or understand how to work on this craft, like your abilities and skills around it even more. This is really crucial. This is another key thing for you. So I'm not sure if you're aware of this, but Throughout many lifetimes, when we casually say words about promising things or vowing things, or like putting this sort of heavy weight and vibe towards people, when we're just casually saying it or swearing about something, these concepts stay on your soul forever until you choose to give them up. And sometimes people in a heat of passion will promise, and for whatever reason, because at this point in time you might not remember this past life, make some sort of promise towards poverty or something like that. And this is something that apparently is weighing you down and holding you back. It could be about the limit you put on yourself and your financial success. It could be about maybe there's a disconnect going on and you have done something that's prevented you from being able to truly connect to your emotions or truly connect to understanding what it is that you want to do. So we can get rid of this very easily. I want you to take a moment after this video, no sounds on, you're going to take a moment, be very quiet, and you're going to say, Spirit, if it's in my highest good, I remove all promises, vows, swears, unbindings. I wrap it with love and light, and I get it away from me. I send it away. I return it to sender, whatever it is you need to think of it as. And then you're just going to kind of be quiet and meditate on this. And you're going to think about this. And as you do that, that's as simple as that. With your intention and your words spoken aloud, you will remove this. Sometimes it takes a couple days for it to integrate on you and to deeply feel it and notice the shifts and change. But you're going to be removing this promise you made very long time ago. We're done with it. We're not going to be held back anymore. And I want to be perfectly clear going forward. You do not need to make these statements in order to be more declarative or give a guarantee or accomplish the job. You can still care. You can still be like, this is my intention, but you do not need to make these sort of everlasting contracts and commitments onto your soul. You're free. You don't need to experience this anymore. Going forward, we have over here the confirmation in the Five of Pentacles of this. That's why I said poverty, because it looks like you're specifically being shown not just earning wealth, but you're getting out of a lacking mindset. You're getting out of thinking this is all you can have. This is your only state of being. So I'm feeling like the promise has heavily to do with something around that idea of without money that you put upon yourself, that you'll be essentially relieving, which we love. Now, it looks like right before you, or not right before, I'm so sorry. It looks like as you go upon this year, I'm getting more of a middle of the year sort of vibe. You're going to have information revealed to you. It feels like it's being given to you. This could be through somebody else. This could be through coming upon some sort of video. But there is information that is going to be revealed to you about the method in which you work. This is going to be the method, like maybe you're given some sort of website that helps you best to understand how to brand yourself or how to reach out to your particular audience. Maybe you're shown some sort of video that gives you a magical technique that makes whatever you have to offer special, and you bring about like sort of a lost art, so to speak, to your particular, whatever it is you work on. Whatever it is, you're going to be looking for this particular hidden thing that is going to make what you have to offer extra special. It's going to give you that extra lift. But in order to see this hidden information, this is something that's going to be seen and understood by you when you are able to read and naturally connect to the language of the universe. And what I mean by that is we are the universe experiencing ourselves. So when we have things happening around us or the way people interact with us, it's what we are reflecting out there. And being able to understand both the ups and the downs, all the little in-betweens, all the little insignificant details, you are able to understand which ones particularly speak to you and what. It's like when people see synchronicities. People think synchronicities are one form of language, like that's the only sign, but you're receiving signs and indications of where to go next constantly. Right now, Maybe you're watching this on your phone. It's an all the time thing. It's something that you can connect to at any given point in time. So that because of that, you need to build up your intuition. I'm being told right now you're not really connected to that at the moment. You're going to be a master of it, but that's an important key in order to being able to identify, well, which is the information being given to me that's so important, that's going to make or break. I don't want to say make or break. Make your next level of your success. Basically, bring all this opportunity and financial gain to you. So what's mostly being shown to me is this idea of you working with water. For me, a suggestion would be like swimming. Even the act of like lying in the bathtub or lying in some form of water, because not only is the element water have something to teach you, but you cannot be told right now about intuition through words. You need to kind of be shown it and feel it on sort of an inexplainable universal level. And when you're in the water and you understand how it goes around you, how it knows how to naturally function, even if there's blockades, how to understand when the waters get rough, or how to swim, how to dive, it's like something kicks in on a subconscious level for you that helps naturally lead you to intuition. So this is a very it's like an effortless vibe, essentially. So just go hang out in a pool, go lay in your bathtub, and just think about what you're doing. Even if you're like, well, nothing's moving, nothing's happening. There you go. That's a little bit of intuition being given to you, and it will reveal itself, just like the information will, but you will be able to see that information. So the last thing I want to say is this end card that I love for you so much. The magician, my goodness, is a master, like emperor, extreme craftsman of manifestation. They are somebody who needs no more, no less. They are completely aware of when they manifest, and they don't just manifest in one way, but because they kind of have all the tools, in their belt, so to speak, and they're ready to use any one of them, they can basically manifest instantly. I'm being particularly pointed to this sort of connection. It seems like you have this instant connection to, you could describe it as source, the universe, the inexplainable energies, whatever it is. It seems like you, through this year, through these various methods, you gain this ability. This is why your energy is so intense. It's like it's waiting to be directed, like a lightning bolt, so to speak, and we often, this is described as like the heavens, but we're going to describe this is the energy that enables you to manifest, and this is you bringing it into reality, which we love. Also, the magician can earn like as much money as they want, but it's less important about the money. It's like, yes, if you want that, you can make that happen. It's this joy at the end of the year that you'll end up getting all this money and you'll be really happy about it, but you'll find yourself more blissful that you now have this ability because you have this now long-term potential to do anything. It's not just about money now by the end of the year. It's about your well-being, it's about your emotions, it's about other people, it's about how you interact with your environment. It's this sense of like, if you want to create your dream world in any single which way, you can make it happen. So we love that. If you enjoyed this reading as much as I did, consider giving this video a like, comment, and subscribe. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Oh, and a share too. That helps as well. I am sincerely wishing you the best. And I will see you in the next one. Let's get ready for group number 4. Group number 4. Let's look at your financial success story 1 year from now by looking at the cards. We've got King of Cups in reverse, 2 of Pentacles upright, 7 of Wands in reverse, 6 of Cups in reverse, and the Emperor upright. So funny. I can tell you right now, I am connecting to your energy very hard, and it feels super tired, super burnt out, very low, just a little like, ugh, what's gonna work out? Like, what? Ugh, I don't even know. Like, that sort of vibe. I'm feeling it super intensely. I'm gonna have to kind of push it out right now in order to do this reading because honestly, it makes me feel like I could take a nap. I just feel so done, but in a way I'm not usually used to feeling. I'll just describe it as burnt out. It doesn't just feel like super low and sad. It feels more like energy oriented. If you do feel emotional or like sad in some sort of way, understand that that is because of that energy. And that's super important to understand where you are. And my spirit guide's telling me it's important for you to understand this in order to gain control again of yourself, because you're confusing your emotions or your energy for your emotions. So your emotions are still valid. They are still whatever you're feeling. I'm not saying there's a guarantee you feel sad or something like that, but you're just like tired. It's this feeling of almost like chronic fatigue. And we want to get you out of that place because it creates a sense of like being unable to see opportunities, not feeling motivated to to work on any opportunities. And honestly, it creates a sense of stagnation that, I mean, it's not necessarily bad. It's whatever you want, but life is worth living. And you clicked on this video and you're interested in financial success. So like, let's get you feeling better and feeling more like yourself, because this isn't you. Let's get into it. So over here, we have the indication that someone from your past. It's so funny. I was looking at this and I was being told this was about like a boss. I was like, oh, is it like a boss? And they were like, something like that. And when spirit guides are vague, first of all, it's a bit of, so sometimes I'm not supposed to know certain information. So if I get a little vague, it's because I'm only told so much information that you need to know. And sometimes it's about you only needing to know a certain amount of information. So we're going to keep this pretty open and say that this could be like an old boss, maybe like an old mentor, somebody who taught you at some point. There's this feeling of, it's very obscure. It's like authority, not authority. That's why I can see why they said something like that. Either way, this is a person from your past that down the line, not right now, but down the line is going to give you that kind of upper lift, that helping, this opportunity that you're going to work with. It's interesting though. My spirit guide's showing me that it's not an opportunity purely like a job and that's where you make all your money. It's almost like maybe they give you an opportunity to work with them and then you gain some sort of intelligence from them or skill set, or by working with them and feeling more, a higher energy base like we talked about, you start to, I'm just feeling your energy pretty intensely, which is good. I'm just saying like it's making me want to close my eyes and fall asleep right now. Their opportunity that they have by being with them, opportunities will appear. So it's something where you want to work with them and you wouldn't find these opportunities if you weren't with them. But it's also about reconnecting with yourself. That's an important thing that I keep seeing mirrored in all the cards. It's all about getting out of this energy flow and kind of like having things just naturally work out better in your favor purely by doing that. And this connection I want to point out, but we are being given the hint and clue that it is somebody you already have met and known, so that way you'll be able to better identify them. And I am being told by spirit guides, if you want to go seek them out right now and you kind of have an inkling of who it is, you're welcome to do that. You can get that started right now. So this is an important interaction I want you to keep in mind. The Two of Pentacles is going to be the key of you feeling, getting you out of this sort of energy we talked about, or lack of energy in the Seven of Wands in reverse. This is about somebody who is able to find balance. Normally, I refer this card to being a balance between work life and home life. But this is just a general sense of balance every time you experience anything. And being able to understand that sometimes you just might need to take a nap. Some people need to take a nap every day, and that's fine. And it's also a sort of emotional comfort of saying like, hey, this, chronic fatigue I'm feeling is normal. and is okay, and kind of giving yourself a bit of a break, so to speak. But also understanding that sometimes you're going to, even if you're tired most of the given point, force yourself to go for a walk, force yourself to go interact with other people. And that even if you're sleepy the whole time, it's the beginning. Or you might be sleepy for the first hour of it, and then suddenly you find your energy and you're glad you pushed yourself and you had a great night. And feeling this sense of connection with others or whatever it is you want to experience gives you this sort of energy and drive that wakes you up in a way you wouldn't have experienced the rest of the afternoon. And being able to understand when it is you need to give yourself a break and give into it a little bit, and a little bit when you need to kind of like kick your butt and hit into high drive and figure out what works. But this sense of balance becomes a little more obscure, but continues on, I'm being told, about with your workplace. You're constantly knowing when to interact and when to not to interact. You seem to have a good intuition, head on your shoulders, you'll know when. But there's going to be times when you're like, I know I should, but I just don't want to. And you're basically being told, well, if you want things to change, there's times where you're going to need to get involved. It is just a sort of hump that you will overcome and leap, and it will feel better once you've gotten the activity started, and then you won't think about this feeling of like, oh, I wish I wasn't involved. You'll be involved and you'll be having a good time and everything will be fine. But it's about knowing, definitely, like not forcing yourself and having to do it every single time, but getting involved occasionally. And by finding that interactive balance and duality in your life, you slowly start to feel your energy come into play. You start to realize that that lack of energy not only gives you an appreciation when you do have energy and sort of connection, but understanding both of them is kind of like your secret skill, so to speak. Now, the reason why this interaction is important over here is we have somebody who I'm being told wants to sabotage you during this year. It doesn't have to be the full year. It can be just like a couple weeks or something like that. But they're highly emotionally manipulative and like not balanced. They are not thinking straight. I'm being told they are the source, unaware to you. They're sort of like an energy vampire, taking a lot of that energy. And it's not, they can take your energy even, they don't have to, but you can choose to basically say right now, just out loud, hey, they're not going to take my energy. And that will be enough to get them, kind of cut them off from it, so to speak. But they are really drawn to you for some reason. And because they're not emotionally balanced, they have a tendency to want to tell you false things, get in your business. You will be able to identify them and identify what intentions are true and not real, and what to follow and what not to follow, both by purely interacting with them and being able to sense it, as well as being able to speak with others and them being like, I don't know what they're talking about. I didn't hear that. You know what I mean? They're the type of person that holds like a stare for too long and looks a little too bug-eyed. Like you can tell they're like a little off and a little too excited to see your reaction, if that makes sense. And as you find this sort of balance, they kind of get drawn to you. This is the sort of universe working itself out of like an extreme element popping in, if that makes sense. So it's like we have somebody who's kind of very low energy, very chill, and then we have someone on the total opposite spectrum, and it's sort of you figuring out that in between of like, what are the good things that I want to experience and the benefits from these two different sort of personalities. Keep in mind, you're not going to have to interact with them, and you need to learn something from them. It's not that sort of skill set and thing you're experiencing. It's more just like you are aware the universe is telling you a message by how you feel and how they are around you, and you're getting the message, so to speak. But it's about understanding what are the good things that can come from somebody who is super in touch with their emotions and understands how emotions work with other people and how to use that to their benefit. And the bad things you would not like to carry, like manipulation and feeling high-strung and letting your emotions control you. And then over here, we have somebody who's more lower energy and the benefits behind that and the satisfaction behind that, and understanding when it can be too much of a good thing, if that makes sense. So it's about the balance, getting you back to a place where you feel more normal, but using it to your advantage in the long run. And it appears there's somebody from your past, sort of mentory, bossy-like kind of vibe, that is going to be teaching you some new skill sets, and an opportunity is going to appear from being with them. So very cool. If you enjoyed this reading, please consider giving this video a like, comment, subscribe, and even a share. It helps out the channel like you would not believe. Have a beautiful, wonderful day. I am wishing you the best, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!